Good morning, friends. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I don't think you can tell it so well today, but once again, as you'll have seen from yesterday's video when I was watering, I'm here in the garden at the crack of dawn, well, not quite the crack of dawn, 7ish, to get on with watering before the heat of the day kicks in. Yes, it's still hot. It's absolutely horrid, I've got to say. And at the moment, it's weird light this morning. Really weird light. It's dark light, really low, dense cloud cover. Obviously that is acting like a duvet and keeping all this heat in. Whew. The humidity is through the roof this morning. So I'm going to do something this morning before I water, because I want to chat as I go with you. Because honestly, once I finish doing the watering, I'm going to be pumpkin face, dripping, what have you. Yeah, but it's so different to yesterday. It's lovely and quiet again. I could get the hang of doing this morning lark. No, I don't think anyone is sleeping well at the moment. Yeah, I think it was about 2:30 in the morning the last time I looked at my clock last night, and I was sort of lying there. I'd got a bottle of iced water that I was spritzing myself with, just trying to get some relief. And then, yeah, up again at 5:30, so I'm not going to be able to keep this up forever. 3 hours sleep ain't enough. I need my beauty sleep. We're coming on to beauty in a minute. See what I did there? Yes, so day 11 of my August timeout. My August timeout hasn't gone to plan so far, partly because I lost a couple of days straight away to that stupid migraine, and now it's this heat is just slowing everything down. I'm not feeling like I'm wanting to run around doing things. Now, the idea with my August timeout was was two things. It was prompted by my sewing machine breaking, and it's the idea that I wouldn't have my sewing machine for August, so yay, what else am I going to do? You're right, mister. Excuse me. So no sewing machine, but also the idea was I would spend much less time in the garden through August, because there's not a lot to do other than picking. However, I thought about this last night, in one of those moments where I wasn't sleeping. It is taking me about 3 hours each day to get down here, get everything watered and get back home. And I was thinking, that's every day, 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, that's 21 hours. It doesn't really bear thinking about like that, but I thought about it. It's like 21 hours is a huge chunk of time in the week. That's half of a full-time job. So no wonder I'm struggling to get other things done when I'm doing a huge chunk of each. You know, if you think of a day being an 8-hour day, a working day, I've almost done half of that just by doing the watering. Anyway, so yeah, for a cat hers. Yeah, August my timeout isn't going quite according to plan, but you know, it's okay, because part of like the bigger picture for all of that was to just say to myself, yeah, go with the flow, just go with the flow. And I kind of have been doing. Catching up with all sorts of bits and pieces. I'm going to have a massive catch-up day tomorrow, but that's tomorrow, never mind tomorrow. Right, back to this beauty thing. Excuse me, one moment. Sorry about that. I needed to have a big blow of my nose because it was cat fluff irritating me. Yeah, so when I was watering yesterday, morning Poppy. Oh, when I was watering yesterday morning, I was quite aghast to see how quickly my calendula have been going over. So I did a first pick. Oh, right back towards the beginning of July, I had my first pick. I had another pick in the middle of July. I haven't had a pick since then. And thinking about it now, that's sort of 3 weeks ago. So partly it's time means they're going over, and partly it's this heat. I don't think they're liking it. So I looked at them yesterday. I was like, "Oh, crikey! I need to crack into harvesting them," which is what I'm going to do this morning, because they are a massively important harvest for me every year. More cat hair. I don't use anything on my skin apart from my own calendula oil and calendula balm that I make myself. Haven't used anything for years. I know you can't quite see it apart from her tail, but yeah, I haven't used anything on my skin for years. Now, you know, I'm probably a bit lucky genetically to have good skin. Genetically, we don't have good joints in my family, but skin, we're not too bad on that count. What always amuses me is if I hug or someone touches me for the first time, invariably they'll say, "Oh, isn't your skin soft?" So if someone gives me a kiss on the cheek, "Oh, isn't your skin soft?" Yes, my skin is soft, because I look after it in as natural a way as possible. So, for example, I wash with soap and water. That's it, nothing fancy. I use bar soap. My soap is always an olive oil based soap. Wash, that's it. And then either, usually, more commonly, calendula oil, and then I keep the balm for gnarly bits, like especially in the winter when hands are getting chapped from being outside, or say for instance when I was nursing and I'd come home at the end of the day, my hands would be raw from all the washing. So put the balm on, put a little pair of cotton gloves on to go to bed. I also use my balm. I don't get it so much these days, but every now and again, if stress is getting too much, and I'm not dealing with it, I was just watching a jay flying across the garden then. Yeah, when stress gets too much, I get little, just in my hairline, in my eyebrow, hairline here, I just get little pops of psoriasis. So again, balm goes on that, and usually within a couple of days it's cleared up. So yes, my Calendula Harvest is really important. So throughout the summer, I harvest and dry my petals. Once everything is really thoroughly dry, I store them at home and then make my oils on a sort of a rotating basis. So I'll pretty much have my oil on the go that I'm currently using. Whilst I'm using that, I'll have a jar of my oil macerating, because I usually leave it 6 to 8 weeks to macerate. And then every few months or so I'll make up a batch of balm, both for myself and for friends who use it. And at the moment I've noticed I've got it's Poppy jumping. Do you know, sorry, one moment. I'll get there at some point, sorry about that. She was threatening to knock things off the shelf. So I thought, I'm just going to settle it down here with a couple of nibbles. Yeah, so at the moment, say this sort of canister size, about a £1 canister, I've got about that much left. Where can I put this now? Of last year's harvest. So that will be going in to make some oil in a few weeks' time. So I thought, oh, then I'm going to be completely out of it, apart from those 2 small harvests I've done so far in July. Right, so the point, get to the point, Vivi. The point is, when I was watering yesterday, I looked at them all looking really sorry. So I'm going to go through them all now, harvest the ones which are gorgeous and perfect, and deadhead to encourage some more flowers. So come on, let's grab a basket, grab some gloves because they're sticky, and let's go and harvest our beauty regime. Just before I get stuck into harvesting the calendula, can you see what I see? This is the Rogue Volunteer tomato. it's obviously an orange cherry type. Gorgeous truss there, really long truss. And then this one too. So I shall cut some of the calendula out of there and give it a bit of space, because that's a lovely looking load of tomatoes. Right, Calendula Harvest. I know you won't be able to tell from the image, but take it from me, it's really, really humid. Oh my goodness. So, ideally for harvesting my calendula, I'm getting my gloves on because they are really sticky. I don't like being sticky. Ideally for harvesting, I like to do it in the morning, you know, sort of 9-10 o'clock or so. Basically, once the flower is fully open and when there's been enough sort of sun and air on the open flower to dry off any dew. I don't think there's any dew at the moment. It is so dry everywhere. So then when I'm harvesting them, I cut back. They're such a tangle, such a happy tangle. Follow the stem right down. Oh, tiny bud there. I don't think that was going to come to anything. Yeah, follow the stem right down until the next forking of the next flower. Now, this is the perfect example of what has happened. Can you see? Ooh! I've got these two are perfect, beautiful. The other two, well, they've just gone over a little bit too much. So those two into the basket for harvesting. The rest will go in the compost. Now the thing is, normally I try to keep on top of harvesting them, obviously because it's my harvest. I need these gorgeous things, but also by regularly harvesting, it's continuing to encourage more and more flowers to come. It's the principle with, you know, so many of our flowers in the garden. Regular deadheading means we're hopefully continuing to get flushes of blooms. Because by deadheading, by taking the blooms off, being a bit anthropomorphic about it for a second, the plant thinks, oh no, I need to make another flower because I need to make seed, because that's my whole reason for being on the planet, is to make seed. So yeah, it's well worth doing, both in terms of prolonging your display, if it's just flowers for display. If it's flowers for harvesting, well worth doing to prolong and increase your harvest. I tell you what, it's a muggy day for it though. Yeah, they've gone over really quickly this year. I think it must be a combination of the heat and dryness. I have actually been giving these a little bit of water. The other thing which always happens with my calendula is, like always, there's loads of gnats about this morning. It's definitely the kind of weather where I'm almost certainly going to get bitten this morning. Yeah, it's I always get mildew in my calendula. Like I was saying with the cukes the other day, look, it's unsightly, it's yucky, doesn't affect the yield, doesn't affect the potency of the medicinals in the flower. And speaking of which, I use, well, way back when I started growing them here, I started off with Calendula officinalis. That's what you want, straightforward calendula. Over the years, I'm sure there's been a bit of cross-pollination with other gardeners, because this is what it should look like. You can see. So it's just simple petals, little dark centre. And now I get ones like this. Oopla, dropping it. Double sort of petals, pale, fluffy. Doesn't matter. I use them all. Right. It takes me ages to go through this whole bed, so I'm going to leave it there with you all for today. Wish you very well, and I hope that whatever you're doing on day 11 of your August, that you're having fun, being productive, chilling out, whatever it is, avoiding the heat of the day, keeping your gardens going and growing. Whatever you're up to, have fun doing it, and I will see you again probably tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh, gnats.